It starts with a bit of gratitude. If you want your podcast to be better, if you want your life to be better, if you want your business to be better, don't think about all of the negative things.
Most hosts never achieve the results they hoped for. They're falling short on listenership and monetization, meaning their message isn't being heard and their show ends up costing them money. This podcast was created to help you grow your listenership and make money while you're at it. Get ready to take notes. Here's your host, Adam Adams.
Hey, podcaster, it's your host, Adam Adams. And in this episode, we're talking about something that's going to make you a better podcaster, for sure. It's going to make you a better person, for sure. It's going to make you a better business owner, for sure. It's going to make you a better parent, for sure. What are we talking about today? We're talking about gratitude. And it's interesting that long time ago, many years ago, I heard this thing about gratitude and I didn't believe it. I was like, bah humbug. It's full of shit. I'm not going to believe in that. It just sounds stupid. Like, you get successful by hard work and dedication and grinding every single day and never quitting and being a dick to people, right? Like, this is how you get successful, is like you're mean to your kids so that you can work more and you're stressed. And anyway, let's fast forward to the day that I heard this and I went, bah humbug, that can't work. But I was challenged. I was challenged by my psychologist, the one that doesn't prescribe you medicine. Anyway, I worked with one of those and I've done that a few times, like honestly, where I snap really fast. Here's my personality. I hope you resonate. I hope you know a little bit of where I'm coming from, because I don't want you to just judge me, right? I want you to be like, I'm kind of like that too. I think that everything needs to be done yesterday. When I have a team, when I have employees, it all needs to be done yesterday. When I talk to my kids and they do something and it's something that's not the right thing for them to do, and I tell them and they say they're not going to do it again, but then they do it again, I freak out. I have a short fuse and a low patience level. I have a high sense of urgency. Everything needs to be done yesterday. Once I touch it once, I never want to have to touch it again, unless it's like a hobby. Once I see the thing the first time, I get it out of the way and never look at it again. Low patience. Wasn't good for all of my relationships. And then my psychologist said, hey, you should practice gratitude. And I was like, you're funny. Like, you got jokes, man. What is that supposed to mean? I'll be happier because I just say thank you all the time. And he's like, well, just give it a try. Just give it a try. In the morning, practice gratitude. At night, practice gratitude. And I'm like, what do you want me to be thankful for? He's like, just whatever you authentically are thankful for. So I did it. I'd wake up and I would be like, hey, I'm so glad that I'm here for another day. And I'm so glad that I get to see my kids today. I'm so glad that I have a car that I can drive to work and I don't have to walk. I'm so grateful that I've got a roof over my head. Like, things might be tough, things might be tight, things might be stressful, but I really do have it better than I thought. So I did that. Practiced it in the morning and I practiced it before I went to sleep. So I got back in bed at night, and before I closed my eyes or before I fell asleep, sometimes I would do my gratitude with my eyes closed, but before I went to bed or sleep, I would say the same things. Man, today, these are the things that went well. These are the things that I'm happy about. These are things that I could do better tomorrow, and I'm grateful for that. And I just started practicing gratitude regularly. And then I found out that I needed to practice gratitude one other time. And I was so proud of myself for coming up with this on my own. The guy that I was paying to make sure that I had a better, longer fuse instead of a shorter fuse, especially with my kiddos and my significant other and my teammates, my own employees, where I felt like I was just this giant dick to my employees, like I was an asshole to them. I was like ungrateful. I expected perfection the very first time. I had no sense of understanding. I started being better at that. And I learned there was a third time that I needed to also practice gratitude. And that was anytime that I felt really stressed. So it wasn't just in the morning and at night. It also had to come when something bad was happening, when something was stressful, where I could just close my eyes and I could just say, take a deep breath, breathe in for 3 seconds and breathe out for 6 seconds. Maybe do that twice. And then I could calmly say, I'm really blessed that I have an employee that can do this for me so that I don't have to do it. I really ought to treat them with a little bit more understanding and respect. It was just a couple of breaths, 1 or 2 breaths, and a quick, I'm grateful because, and then I felt much, much better. Interestingly enough, around this time of deciding to practice gratitude, well, being challenged by my psychiatrist, psychologist, whatever, I ended up feeling a lot better about things. I ended up going to the gym more, going outside, going for walks outside, noticing the trees, the leaves, the spring, the green, the red rocks that I live by. Started noticing when my kids did something sweet. I started putting down my phone instead of saying like, I'm busy. I practiced gratitude saying, I love my kids. I'm grateful for my kids. I'm lucky to have kids. I was actually told by my doctor I wasn't supposed to have children. I had less than a 1% chance. And look, I've got 2 beautiful boys that love me and I could treat them a hell of a lot better. So I put down my phone and I said, come sit on my lap. And you know what? To this day, my son that's turning 12 right now this month, to this day, he wakes up, I'm sitting on the couch practicing my Spanish, and he says, hey, can I snuggle you? Practically every single day. And it just feels so good. Like he wants that. Like he loves me, that instead of being like afraid of me, instead of being like nonchalant, instead of like thinking about me, instead of maybe just saying, hi, I love you, Dad. Good morning, Dad. He specifically says, hey, can I snuggle you? It's so sweet to have him sit there. I can put my arms around him and we can feel good with each other. We can feel happy and connected. And that's the whole thing, is it starts with a bit of gratitude. So if you want your podcast to be better, if you want your life to be better, if you want your business to be better, don't think about all of the negative things. I've got a couple of these, actually. They're clients of ours. I've got a lot of clients that are just fantastically grateful all the time about everything. And I've got 2 that I can think of that the world is always against them. They're always the victim of something. And they're unpleasant people to work with. And I was an unpleasant person to work with. I was an unpleasant partner to my girlfriend. I was an unpleasant dad to my kids. I was an unpleasant boss to my team. And I have these 2 unpleasant people. And if all they did was just practice a bit of gratitude intentionally every morning, every night, and maybe when they got stressed, I think that they would be a lot easier to work with. I think I'd be a lot happier to serve them. And I think if you are intentional to be more grateful, a lot can change in your life and a lot can change in your podcast and the way that you approach your podcast. The final idea here is, instead of thinking about all the money that you need, instead of thinking about, I need another client, instead of thinking like how hard life is or how rough life is or how things aren't going your way, think about some of the things that are going well. I wrote down white collar problems. White collar, meaning when the guy, there's blue collar and white collar, right? So the white meaning that they have like a really fancy job. They probably make a decent amount of money and they still tend to have issues and problems. Some of the happiest people are the poorest that I know. I served a 2-year mission and with just a whole bunch of different people in Los Angeles. One of the guys that I ate dinner at a couple of times, he was a multi-billionaire, like no joke. He lived in Palos Verdes and he had a supplement company where he was an Asian man and he had a company that practiced his tradition from his background and his culture. And he did really well. I went bowling in his basement. I saw his 15-car garage, some Porsches and Bentleys that they have to make, they create right then and there. We ate dinner at his table. Like there was only 6 of us, but his table probably fit 45 people. I mean, and this guy, he didn't seem that happy. He didn't seem grateful. He was an unpleasant person to be around. He kind of felt like the world owed him stuff and he was entitled to stuff. And then the Polynesians, not all of them, but many of the Polynesians in Los Angeles that I got to connect with, the Samoans, the Tongans, Hawaiians, they would stop and they would say, elders, hey, come here. We'd walk up to the car and they give us $20 and we'd be like, oh, what's that for? We're fine. And they're like, oh yeah, just go get some lunch. We're like, we just ate lunch. And, okay, go have dinner. Take it for dinner. We've got a dinner appointment with the Tukuafus down the street. Elders, just take my freaking money. I want my blessings. And they were jolly. They were happy. They treated everyone fairly. It was interesting and fun going to their house and having them feed the missionaries first, having the entire family just sit around 2 missionaries, 4 missionaries, while the 2 or 4 missionaries just like gorged on all the food that they could. And then the family was allowed to eat. And they were the most happy, grateful people ever. And here's the thing. It's because we make a choice. It's because we make a choice to be grateful. The world doesn't owe you shit. What you have, you should be grateful for. And if you put that out into the world, I believe, not to force my beliefs on you, but I believe that somehow and in some way, whether you believe in God or the universe or nature or karma, I believe that or what's that other thing? It's called The Secret. Whether you believe in The Secret, God, the universe, nature, or karma, when you practice gratitude, when you put that out into the universe, when you pray to your God, when you put that out into other people, first and foremost, you become a happier, healthier, you're less stressed, you support people better, and people are fucking attracted to you. People love you when you practice gratitude. I'll see you on the next episode. You're not alone if you're ready to either get your very first affordable microphone or if you're ready to upgrade your equipment to some legit podcasting studio equipment. Because on all of the forums over the last few months, I'm seeing this all the time. Even my own personal clients that work with my team, they're ready to get that next microphone. They're asking us for it. Additionally, when I'm on discovery calls with potential clients, they're always asking for this stuff. Hey, what mic do you recommend? Hey, what lighting do you recommend? What webcam should I be using? So many questions. And so what we did, my whole team has put together a PDF so that if you're one of those people who is looking to either get your very first affordable microphone, or if you're ready to upgrade your equipment to more professional podcast studio equipment, whether it's soundproofing or whatever, we've got you covered by going to growyourshow.com/PDF. And you can download the PDF for free, or right there on the webpage is everything that you would have and you don't need to download the PDF. Either way, just go to growyourshow.com/PDF, which will put you to the podcasting equipment that me and my team have personally vetted. I'll see you on the next episode.